This isn't gonna be an eloquently worded video, and there's not gonna be any jokes in it, but it is part of a conversation that I think needs to happen. I know I'm not the first person to say any of this, and I'm sure something in this video is gonna be taken out of context in the digital climate we live in, but if it helps at least one person, I'm fine with whatever backlash I'll get for my blatant ignorance as I speak on this subject. I just want to talk about what's going on in the world and what's going on mainly up here in all of us. Regardless of what's going on externally, there's always something deeper that's going on internally. Everyone's fighting their own battles on a daily basis, and all of our problems are unique to us. But that doesn't mean that other people aren't feeling very similar things. Sometimes, most of the times, you don't know what people are going through. People that you follow on the internet, your favorite YouTubers, your favorite singer, everyone looks like they have it all together. Chances are they probably don't, and we're all just figuring it out as we go along. Sometimes we won't know what's really going on with people as it's happening. We figure out when it's too late. I think instead of being reactive to tragedies, we can figure out a way to be proactive and prevent things from happening to the best of our abilities. Obviously, everyone makes their own decisions, but we can all make a decision to plant seeds of hope in other people and maybe restore some self-worth and purpose that they may have lost along the way or not have been able to find it yet. With all of that being said, suicide is not an unfamiliar concept. Majority of times it feels like this is the only solution to a myriad of problems, whether it be abundant stress or feelings of self-worthlessness or depression. And there are great resources out there like the Suicide Prevention Hotline. There are also other resources to aid and help people that are struggling with feelings like this. Most of the time people don't want to reach out because they feel like they're a burden or they feel like they're going to bring other people down with their own problems. So they don't reach out at all until it's far too late. Of all the resources out there, we can be one of the most important ones to other people. I've heard a lot of stories from my direct friends that say when they're going through a panic attack or feelings of depression and they're underwater in their emotions, they don't remember a number. They don't remember who their friends are. They don't remember that this feeling is not going to last forever. You feel stuck. You feel like there's no one out there. You feel like you're alone, and you're not alone. It's easy to go in one ear and out the other that you're not alone, but you're not. Social media is a highlight reel, except for Facebook when everybody's complaining. You probably have a phone around you. If you're on this phone, pause it when you need to and then resume. But I feel like this is one step in the right direction of planting these little seeds that can maybe help somebody somewhere, even if you think it's the most minuscule thing. Something so small, like a "how are you" text, can impact their day much more than you would ever think. All it takes is just reaching out. Here are a few things that I implore you to do on a daily basis or just right now. Put it on your to-do list. I just think that it's worth doing. Obviously, live your life, but I promise if you do some of these things, you'll improve somebody else's. I want you to think of someone that you miss right now, somebody that you want to reconnect with or that you used to be really close with and you've grown apart for whatever reason. Think of that person in your mind right now. Now pick up the phone and text them that you miss them. I don't care if you haven't talked to them in 4 years. I don't care if you had a falling out. If you miss this person, let them know. Let them know you're thinking about them. Let them know that they've impacted your life in some way and that it's still stuck with you. I think there are no better 3 words to hear than "I miss you." I would rather hear "I miss you" than "I love you," to be honest. If you're feeling overwhelmed with stress or that you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, take your mind off of it. One of my favorite things I like to do now is read fiction books. I just read a book called The Coincidence Makers that really helped me get out of my own mind and kind of transform into this different world. A lot of times I feel like we get wrapped up in what's happening in our mind and we don't let ourselves get out of it. Also, if you don't like books, I made a YouTube playlist of things that make me feel really happy if I'm going through some rough day or if I'm really anxious. I put the link in the description box. It's an unlisted playlist, so you can only get it if you click that little link. Some of my personal favorites on YouTube: sketch comedy videos and fun feel-good songs. Save it, revisit it on bad days when you need them. I'm gonna keep updating it when I come across videos that I think I would like to see in times of adversity. It'll be a little secret feel-good treasure box that is just for you. Another thing you can do while reaching out to some people that you've missed or even people that you want to connect on a deeper level with is make a solid concrete plan with them and don't flake. I love being alone. I work from my house. I eat here. I don't even go on a morning coffee walk anymore because I got a coffee maker so I didn't have to leave the house. Alone time is great, but when there's too much of it, that's all you feel. There has to be a balance. Make plans with someone, follow through, connect with other people. It'll be mutually beneficial. Something you can do right now is FaceTime one of your family members. I live across the country from my parents. 10 years ago, I'd have to fly 6 hours in order to just see their face. Now I can press a button. Use technology for what it's worth. Therapy. Let's talk. There's still a very prevalent stigma that people only go to therapy if they can't handle something on their own or they're too unstable in order to deal with their problems without professional help. It's not until I moved out to LA where it was weird if you didn't have a therapist. A designated and trustworthy third party that's not involved in anything that can help you kind of unpack what's going on in your own life. A lot of times we cloud ourselves with all of these internal arguments and what we think we should be feeling. You don't have to think if you feel. That's what it is. Your feelings are never invalid. No one can tell you how to feel, and you have a right to all of your feelings. Sometimes they don't even have to say anything back. Even just hearing yourself can help work out some built-up issues by just talking out loud. Trust me, I know therapy isn't the cheapest thing, but there are sliding scales that work with your budget if you can't afford one of the professionals that you're seeking. You can find licensed therapists in your medical community through your insurance, or if they don't cover it or you don't mesh with any of those people. If you just Google therapists in my area, you can find people that are willing to help. If you can't afford a session rate of the therapist on the website, explore a little bit further, because almost every time there's people under them that are just trying to log their hours that can change their price depending on how much you can afford. If for some reason you don't want to go the therapist route and you still just want to talk to someone that gets you, start a conversation thread in this comment box. I read all of the comments of my videos and other people's. Honestly, the people that are watching right now, I've never seen a more collective group of funny, caring, smart, supportive people than the ones that are watching this video right now. You are good people. Good people meet good people. Think of a time that somebody helped you in your life, whether that was for moving or through a breakup or something as small as folding laundry when you didn't have time. Write them right now and tell them thank you for that whatever time. Be specific. Tell them that you appreciate them and that you're lucky to know somebody like that. If you don't have anybody like that, be somebody like that. This one goes for if you consistently fall into sluggish and dark days, or if you're just having an off and bad day. Try and get out of the house. Sometimes I've been bedridden from just feeling so sad and that nobody actually liked me. It's crazy what we make ourselves feel when we have the option to change it. And sometimes sulking is good. Sometimes you have to just cry it out. A lot of times you have to cry it out. It feels good to feel bad sometimes, but there's a line between allowing yourself to feel that and knowing when to shake it off and making a home in that feeling. You're only a visitor. Don't become a resident. One way that I feel like I can get out of those funks is to get out of the house, get dressed, make sure that you feel good, wear something that makes you feel confident, go out and get fresh air, whether that's taking a walk, going for a drive. I like driving on the freeway with the windows down and blasting music and just aimlessly going somewhere. A change of scenery, especially when you've been so embedded in one feeling and associated that feeling with a certain place, get out and find a new feeling. Get a gratitude journal. This is something I started this year. I obviously didn't start it, but I started mine this year. Every time something great happens to me, or even something that just made me smile in a day of adversity, I write it in this notebook. I like it because it lets you immediately reflect on something that you hold very valuable. It also is a great tool when you're feeling down. Just take your journal, flip to any page, read something that makes you feel great. It made you feel great when it happened. It'll make you feel great when you need it. This is a big one. You should do this for sure. Compliment someone. The next time you go out into the real world, say something nice to make someone's day better. In a world where we're all trying to be validated and liked, one statement can do both of those things to literally everyone on the planet through a compliment. Regardless of whatever you do decide to do, just know that it starts and ends within you. We all have bad days, bad moments, times where character isn't up to par with what we want to be. But just because you've made mistakes in the past doesn't mean you have to continue on that trajectory. At any point in your life, you can change if you want to. At the same time, you can't change other people if they don't want to change. The only person that you can control is you, which in turn makes you the most powerful person of your life. With all of that power, you're in control. You make it happen. No one can make you do anything. They can try, but if you're strong and powerful enough, they can't ever get to you. This has turned into some sort of troll rant video, but I'm sure people on the internet that do spread hate, it's because they have a lack of love in their life. Everything is lack and excess. They have an excess of hate because they're so depleted of love. They want a reaction because they want to feel powerful. They don't realize that they already are powerful because they are in control of them. Do something to make yourself feel good. Whatever that means to you, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, make sure to do that at least one time a day. If you don't have time, make time. Because how are you supposed to give love when you don't have any to begin with? That's actually impossible. In the end, we all think we're so different, but actually all we want is the same thing. We just want to be loved. Love is the same in every single language, the experience of it and the experience of the lack thereof. And we're all so desperately trying to find love, whether that's within each other or finding someone to love, that we don't think about how we're neglecting that we are still trying to find it within us. If you take anything from this video, let it be this. Just try it out. You don't have to change at all what you're doing in your life, but just try putting love first. Let love lead in every decision that you make, in every confrontation. Every time there's a choice, there's a love and a fear route. Make the loving choice and see where that takes you. Okay, talk soon.